Hey guys, this is a big, thick, and heavy box. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Frame Arms Girl Hresvelgr Ater. So there's been a number of different versions of the Hresvelgr in the Frame Arms line, and the Frame Arms Girl version as well has seen a number of different variants, so there's quite a lot of different variants of this kit out there that exist. I've never built any of them, so it's going to be my first experience with the Hresvelgr. I've heard a lot of mixed things about the Frame Arms kit, that it can be kind of tricky, and this one as well. I think as you guys will see with the design of it, it kind of has a lot of stuff going on in it, so I'm not sure if that's going to either be very cool or it might kind of work against the design, but we'll find out here in today's review. Like I said, this box is big and stuffed, very thick, so let's go ahead and check out the Hresvelgr Ater. Right, so in typical Frame Arms Girl fashion, we have the nice color gradient there on the side and color swatches up here at the top, and our main illustration does look really cool here for the Hresvelgr Ater. You can see all the equipment and all these clear parts. That's kind of a main thing with the Hresvelgr design. It has all these kind of clear effect parts and everything, and weapons parts and everything. A lot of clear parts. So taking a look around here at the bottom of the box, again, you can see just how thick this box is, and a close-up view of the illustration there. On the side of the box here, a look at the actual painted and decaled sample of the kit. There it is with the full weapons and everything, with the stand and the unarmored version right there as well. Gimmick, how it can kind of transform all the weapons and the equipment, everything you can kind of transform into like a thing that she can ride on, which is kind of interesting there. And here's a look at the unpainted version of the kit right here, and you can see that cool effect on the clear parts. The clear parts, I believe, for this version have a kind of iridescent finish on them, which should look really cool. Around here on the other side, you get a look at the face parts that we have included, a kind of smiling face, a smirking face, and a kind of crying sort of face, I guess you could call that maybe. There's the waterside decals that we have included with it, and a list price over here of 6,800 yen. Pretty reasonable price, as you can see just how full this box is, and if you kind of typically build a lot of Mecha Musume style model kits, the price sounds very fair, I will say. Here's a look at those clear parts. We'll take a closer look at those in just a minute, but again, the iridescent finish on those is pretty cool, and like I said, a stuffed full box. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at the instruction manual here first. On the front, the same box art. On the back, just the logo there. On the front inside page here, some more photographs of the painted kit there for reference. Those are nice to have a kind of nice posing reference there as well. And here's a look at the regular Frame Arms Hresvelgr kit, which I believe is on the RE2 version of the release of that. I know it does at least have a rebuild version. I think it's on RE2. Anyway, here's a look at the runners, and as you can see, there's a couple of grayed out parts there, which will be parts that we're not going to use for this kit, but there's the parts list, and then we get right into the construction here, where you build the unarmored version first, and then you build all the armor and accessories and everything and combine it all together. You build the weapons and all that, so pretty extensive there. There's a bit at the back about how to transform it into the different modes there, so you can see how to do all of that. And then once we get to the very back, we got the color and decal guide here. So this is all in Japanese, but it's pretty straightforward. As far as that, we just have the one page here with a couple of nice reference images there, front and back, showing where the decals will go and all of your colors there. Speaking of the decals, here's those. So you have decals for the eyes, and then a couple of like these blue line marking decals, a couple of these little yellow ones there as well, and that's pretty much it. So not a whole lot of markings here for this one. And then our face parts are right here. As usual, the quality of these looks very, very nice for our 3 printed faces. We also have these couple of parts right here, which would be like the shoulder arm sockets, I believe, right there, with a little bit of white printed on these skin tone color parts. A few other things here. We've got the included base stand for this, with the arms for the stand already pre-built and screwed there for you, with the screws already installed, so that's nice. We've got some polycaps, PCA, a couple more here, PCB in that kind of metallic grayish color, and then PC runner here in skin tone. Then we've got our hand parts here in white, standard holding hands with the trigger finger extended, open expressive hands, open resting hands, and closed fists. And getting into the runners, I want to take a look at all these clear parts first because they're pretty incredible looking here. So this is runner O, for example, and you can see just how cool that iridescent finish looks on these. Now obviously you're going to want to be really careful with removing these off the runner. Looking at them closely, you can see some of these are undergated, but not all of them. Like parts like this, like there'd just be no way to really undergate that. So it looks like where it was possible and where it was necessary, some undergating is done on these parts, but on not all of them. It's not necessarily possible on some, but the effect just looks really, really cool. Here's runner M for a couple of those blade parts. I mean, they just catch the light really nicely. Very interesting, very cool looking. Here is runner D here for a smaller runner of clear parts. Here is another one of the O runner. Here's runner N for some more, and lastly here is runner T for those main big blade parts. So really cool how they had like a blue and purple kind of finish to them depending on how they're catching the light. Really nice. All right, getting into the rest of the runners here then, runner A is in skin tone, runner B is a few parts here in white, runner C is some hair parts here in yellow, runner E we have two of for some more white joint parts. Runners F and G are in the other main color that we have for this kit, which is going to be in a metallic gray. It looks really nice here. As you can see, two of the F runner, one of this G runner. We also have a different G runner, which is here in white, and then runner H for a couple of connection pieces here in skin tone. Runners I and J are going to be the remainder of the white armor pieces that we have for this. There's runner I, runner J. We've got two of these for some of the larger parts of white armor. Runner K is some more of the mechanical parts, which, as I said, is in this kind of metallic gray. Really nice kind of color here for this. Here we have this one K runner. We all have a different K runner here, and this one we have two of. I believe this one is probably from the frame arms kit, and this one is from the from this frame arms girl kit, and that's why there's two different K runners here, unfortunately. But runner L is some more of those metallic gray parts there. We got a whole bunch of those, two of that L runner. Runner P is going to be the rest of our blonde yellow hair parts. Runner Q is a couple more joint parts here in white. Runner R is one more flesh tone part here for the base of the head, I believe. And then lastly, runner S is some more weapons parts here, and that's it for all the runners. Alright guys, so here is the kit all put together. Well, this is just the base form, of course, as we're going to look at it here at first, and then we'll outfit it with all of the other accessories and equipment and everything that we're going to put on it. This kit does, of course, have a lot of extra stuff, but the base form also is really nice. This is another one of those where, honestly, if they sold this separately, available as just only the base form like this, honestly, I would buy another one just for just the base form, but we do have a lot of really cool stuff in here, and the clear parts look absolutely incredible on this, as we'll see. You can see a couple of them there around on the head at the moment, but all of the different clear effect parts, different blade parts and things like that we have in here look really, really awesome. So can't wait to show those to you guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories. So starting off with some of the more substantial accessories, here we have this very nice Kotobukiya flying base included, which is going to be a lot more heavy duty than the standard base that we normally have with the Megami Device and Frame Arms Girl kits. So that's nice. That should let you know that we do have a lot of stuff in here. One of those is going to be this massive scythe weapon, which she actually has two of these. So here's one and two. It's actually made up of kind of a few different sections. We have these two kind of smaller blades here on the side, the main blade there at the top like that, which folds out. Even this part here at the back also folds out, and there's a clear part which will come out of there. That folds out. This whole section can also rotate. This is going to be for doing some kind of like parts forming that we'll see later on, but just on its own, I mean, you can see that blade is going to be about as tall as the character herself. Then we've got the main parts of the kind of backpack, and again, there's tons of articulation built into this. This is where it's going to plug into the back of the lower back, and these parts kind of wrap around the sides of the hips. There's all this stuff going on here at the back, which of course we've got articulation and part separation all built into this. Like, for example, these are some more just kind of handheld weapons that you can take off the backpack there to use in the hand. You can also kind of see in there, here is where once this is kind of transformed into how she can ride on this, you can kind of see like where she's going to be sitting on there. Then we've got, of course, our parts for changing the body from the unarmored to the armored form. So this part is going to go on the front of the thigh. This is going to replace the lower leg here like that. That's our new foot parts on here. Again, the clear parts look really, really nice. And for the arms, some new parts here to replace the lower arms. This part's gonna go in the bicep there, kind of in between, up there like that. And your hands will be plugged into here. For the hand parts, we've got closed fists, open resting hands for the left and the right side, as well as open expressive hands and weapon holding hands here. We've also got our alternate chest piece that we're gonna swap out for the fully armored form. Of course, our different face options here. Let's take a nice close-up look so you can admire the painting on these, even with the blushing cheeks and the little white dot there on the cheeks. Also, all looks very nice. Our third face option here, and then a fourth blank face that you can use with just some waterslide decals, or you can paint that however you might like. Then we've got a handful of these other bits that we're going to use for the transformation of the kit. And so while I'm not a huge fan of the riding form, we will take a look at that here in just a moment. But as for the kit itself, I mean, all the articulation is going to be pretty standard. Going to have just a single joint there at the elbow. You will have some seam lines like down the side of the body, down the side of the legs. There's going to be some seams here, but as it goes with Kotobukiya kits is that the fit is going to be pretty tight and the seams are not going to be all that noticeable, like just here on the side of the body, just for the fact that it's white for one, and then they're so tight fitting that you're not really going to see that seam on there, so it's not really too much of an issue, I don't feel like. But again, those clear parts around here on the head as well look really nice. If you wanted a version of the head that doesn't have this kind of headgear around on it, unfortunately there's no option for that included with this kit. There's also no option for just like bare arms and bare legs of just like plain, just unarmored, completely unarmored, unclothed, kind of uncovered arms and legs. For those you would have to get the, I think it's the summer bikini version, right, is what they have that has, it's the same character but includes more skin tone parts, so just in case if you were looking for that. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at some different forms here. This is a kit, like I said at the beginning of the review, where I really like just the kind of standard base, like unarmored kit version, and there's certainly a lot that you can do with that, with some of the included weapons, if you kind of separate those from the rest of all the equipment and everything going on there. But with all of the equipment attached and everything, it is a pretty impressive kit. This being my first time building any version of the Hresvelgr, I have to say there's a lot of stuff going on and it's almost a little bit too busy for my taste, but it is certainly very impressive. It's a really cool design, but just keep in mind that because there's a lot there, when you go to pose the kit, there will be a lot of little parts around everywhere that you're going to have to kind of adjust, and as you're moving things, you're going to be moving other parts out of the way, and then you have to move things back, and so there's just going to be a lot of parts adjusting when you're trying to get it in like just the right pose. And then it's nice that we have the more substantial base included with this one, just because the kit is going to be just kind of heavy because you have a lot of stuff going on there. But the writing form is also pretty cool if you guys do enjoy that. It certainly adds that much more value to the kit just by giving you like an alternative form that you can do with this. So not only do you just have a ton of parts, a ton of really awesome clear parts in there as well, which I feel like is worth mentioning on its own, but then alternate forms and then just a bunch of different ways that you can kind of build this and customize it just with what you have in the box here, which is pretty awesome. So there's certainly a lot that you can do with this kit, which is always nice. So let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think about the Hresvelgr? Have you built either the Frame Arms kit or the Frame Arms Girl kit? There's a number of different versions of either one, so if you've built them, let me know what your guys' experience has been. If you have a particular favorite, maybe let me know. But if you guys want to check out this kit or other different Frame Arms Girl kits, Megami device, or anything else from Kotobukiya, of course, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. Got all sorts of stuff there for you guys, so check that out. And as always, if you guys would also like to leave a like or subscribe, make sure you're subscribed if you're not subscribed yet. That also helps a lot. Really appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you so much. Until next time, hope you all have a great day, and I'll see y'all later. Bye, guys.